G'day guys, welcome back. I am doing a little test piece today of a ghost pour. I have a lot of old artwork that I've done up in my house. It's probably 2 years old, I guess. So I'm just wanting to change it around a little bit, put something new up. Another fly. I've done a few of these now. Now swiping is not by all means new to me. The first thing I did when I started pouring was swiping the reflection pours, but I did get the idea of putting the little lines through the center from Courtney Holscher and then swiping down. Kathleen Osmore uses little cards or strips of plastic to do her swipes, so again taking a bit of inspiration from her. I have done lots of control swipes with cards, but it's more like when I've done a beach pour, things like that I've used them for. I haven't done them in this sort of swipe. So anyway, just giving credit where credit's due. So similar to that one, but with a white background. As I said, I'm trying to swap some of my artwork around. My walls in my house are grey, so to lighten it, I think a white background would be better, and then splashes of colour on that. So even though this one is really pretty, I think it's just a bit too dark for my grey walls. So I've cut up a sheet of plastic. You know those big sheets of plastic I use for my swipes? I've cut that up into different sizes. I've actually made them the same size as my little cards here. So just because when they get wet, they tend to bend a little bit, those ones. So I'm just going to use my plastic sheets and see how they go. So I've got a range of different sizes there, and we'll see which ones I want to use later on. Now I've got quite a bit of leftover paint from workshops and from pours that I've done. So I just save my paint in these little containers. And then when I need it, I just pour it into these, because you don't need much for your ghost pours. It's only a tiny little bit of paint. If you put too much on, it's too heavy and you don't get your little wispy, ghosty edges. So just a little bit. Pop that there for now. So I've got navy blue. This one is Deco Art Rose Gold. The navy blue is just the global in the deep space. This one feels a little bit thicker, but I have found that the metallics do need to be mixed a little bit thicker, otherwise they just disappear and you don't see them at all. So these are the colours that are in my house, in my cushions, in my furniture, in my other artwork. It's white, it's navy, it's grey, aqua and copper, timber looks, that sort of a thing. So that's my colour scheme. Just give these a stir because they've been sitting there for the last week or so. These are great little containers. I just get them on eBay. Good for saving paints, especially when you're doing this type of technique when you don't need a lot of paint. Just keep a little bit. Actually, I should put the lids on. Okay, the white is the global white. The light turquoise is called marina, so it's basically just turquoise with a lot of white added. Now I'm using my 65% glue, 35% water for the pouring medium. The white, I've mixed that 3 parts pouring medium to 1 part white. Now I'm going to tip this out. I'm going to save a little bit in the bottom of the cup though, just in case I need to swipe with a little bit of white, or I miss a bit and I want to do my edges. So always keep a little bit of your white. Now you 3 can just sit over there for a minute while I get this surface covered. I'm not on my normal table today. I'm back here in the back of the studio, because over there on that table is my huge Dreamweaver canvas that I poured yesterday. The one for my bedroom again, changing up some of my artwork. So that one's there. That one was the pinks and the peaches, grey, black, because that's what colours are in my bedroom. Again, grey walls. Just going to use the runoff from this to do my sides. There's plenty there. You need to keep a decent amount of paint on the surface. Don't tip it all off, because you need the paint there to, you know, obviously for your other paints to slide around on and leave that wispy look. If you don't have enough paint on the surface, you don't get that sort of wispy, ghosty look because there's not enough paint. Okay, so that's done. Let's go down the other end. My colours, I've mixed them 1.5 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint. It's taking a while to get down there. Come on, paint, you can do it. Get down there. Off you go. Actually, might pick up some of that because that's a lot there. I'll just use that. I've got my hands. Get my little tool. Go away, fly. Why? Why do you have to bother me every day? Oh. I need to find some way that I can keep the flies out of my studio. I actually came up with an idea. I think I'll probably do it. This table, it's got a drying shelf underneath, and I might make up like a little curtain on, you know, that elasticy, wiry stuff that you put your shears on, sheer curtains. If I put some of that with sheer curtains all the way around, if this is my table, hang it all the way around to the floor, and that'll stop the flies getting into my drying underneath. Because so often I come in and there's been a fly that's walked through one of my paintings. I do keep the door closed when I'm not in here so that nothing can come in, but I don't know, they seem to come in anyway. There's a hair. Alright, just turn that around. Just going to go off to that last little corner there and make it look smooth. Try and make it look smooth anyway. Sorry, it's taken a while, isn't it? I just want a nice smooth finish. I don't want any little marks on the background because it will dry like that. So there we go, lovely smooth background. Now I'm going to torch that. Just wipe my hands and then I'll torch that. And then we'll get to pouring. And if this works, I'm not quite sure on the colours because it's only left over. I actually wanted a slightly darker turquoise, but this was made up, so I just thought I'll use it. But we'll see how the colours go, and then I'd like to do a big one. Still got some big canvases left over. So need to use them up. Okay, so that's done. Now, generally when you're starting with a light surface, you put a dark background on first. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 little lines, but very, very thin. When you start pouring, drop your first little drop off there, otherwise you'll end up with a big blob. So drop it off there and then quickly run it through like that. See how you get a big blob there? And if you didn't do that, it would be on here. So just be careful. I do want a lot of the navy. I want that to be quite prominent. So I'm going to put another navy over the top. I think I'll start this way because that's quite heavy up there because I've started there. So let's start down this end and run back like so. And then always remember to take your little cup or whatever around the side so that you're not dripping onto your surface. Okay, so that's about it really. I'm going to use, I think, these two sizes. I have got my bit of paper towel all set to go to wipe my little swiping tool onto. So let's get going. I'll do some this size, some that size, and then if I need to afterwards I can use the little baby ones as well. And these I can just wipe off. Okay, let's do this. So half the colours this way, half the colours that way. So don't start up here, you're going to have no colour left. Start halfway so that you've got that half to do the other half. Oh, shocking woman, shocking. That was a bit fast. So slow down. Okay. That's better. It takes a little bit of a practice. It does. So where I've got that little bit of blue there, I'm just going to move it along if I can. Oops, oh, just stuck that into there. Now there's little touch-ups that you can do along the way. So if you're going to do them while your paint's wet. All right, well I like that one. That one not so much. But what you can do is, because it's very dark blue, so what you can do is afterwards, and I'll show you once I've done it, go through and put some lighter colour there and then swipe through. But let's keep going with the big one for now. I'm not doing very well today for some reason. Not very well at all. I should be stuck with my cards maybe. Now I'll just put that one aside because it's quite dirty. And pop a little bit of pale blue there. And I'm just going to go over it with that one. Okay, so that's lightened that up a little bit. And then over here I'd like a little bit of the rose gold. Hide that. Okay. Well, some parts I like, some I don't, but that's okay. Early days yet. Still got lots of little fiddling to do. Use my little thinner one there. And then just pop a little bit of the rose gold there. You don't need a lot at all. So that gives a nice wispy look. I think the wider ones obviously were too big for this. If I had a bigger canvas, I could go all the way down, but because I'm only stopping there, I think the bigger one's a little bit tricky to do. I'm going to pop a little bit of that there. Catch that. Don't let it drip over your painting. Okay. So anyway, that's what you do. You just go along until you're happy with it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some white here. Because I don't like that edge there. And I'm just going to swipe that like that, just to break that up, just give that edge a bit of a softer look. So you don't have to use your colour. If you want a little bit of white in there, you can put white in there by all means. Like that little bit of lacing there. Now what I don't like are blobs like that. See those blobs? Where I've left little spaces in between on purpose. And I'm just going to do little wispy ones like that in between, just to break those up. Don't have to go all the way down. You can do some shorter ones. Okay, I think I like that. I like that big block of rose gold there. Still not loving that. I don't know about you up there. And my first swipe, I didn't do that very well at all. Let's see if I can fix it. See, it's too blocky there now. I'm going to have to put some white there. Just too blocky. Let's see what I can do with that. Swipe the white and the rose gold down. Okay, that's better. I'm happy with that. It was just too blue. Now I've got rose gold, white and the blue, so I can live with that. Pop a little bit more rose up here. And I think I'd like a little bit of navy up there too, a little bit of a darker area. So this is why you don't put too much paint on to begin with, because you know you can add on afterwards. So just don't add too much colour. Oh, look at that. That's what I wanted, that dark stripe there. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is now is turn it around and do the other side. I can always come back and fiddle with this side if I want to later on. Be so careful with your palette knife that you don't leave a mark. Okay, let's turn this around. I really like the light, airy look of it. I think it would be really stunning on a large piece, don't you think? Okay, now I've still got lots of colour in there. If by chance you can see your canvas, which I can a little bit there, just pop another little drop of paint there and catch your drip. Okay, here we go. Over to the other side now. Oh, that's better. By Joe, I think she's got it. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that copper. It's not a very long, like it's not a very wide canvas, so it's hard not to, you know, to stop halfway. With the little one, it's easier, but you do get more of a pointy look. And if you wanted to, you could put some white through there, and then maybe drag some white over the top. That would be quite pretty too, wouldn't it? Well, that's a nice one. So I like having some come right down, some stopping maybe halfway, just, you know, alternate it. And then go back to your bigger one. I think I need some lighter colour there. And a little bit of navy as well, just one drop in the middle. And if you make a little mistake, try and cover it up straight away. Just put a blob of paint there and push it over the edge. See that dropped on my hand? If I hadn't have done that, it would have dropped down here, which is not good. I just want to break up that little bit of rose gold there. Okay, that's better. I didn't like how it left a bit of a jagged look there. And it might be a little bit thick, that navy. I might thin it down just a tad. 2 little drops in that. Hardly any left in there. If you find that your paint's not flowing as well as it could, then just add a little drop of water. Well, that one I think I'll take a little bit that way. And I can't do the same on this one because that would just look weird, so I can just go there. Okay, moving on. Well, that's a pretty wispy one on the edge there, isn't there? I may still have a little bit too much paint on the surface. Just lighten it a little bit. I can go over there. This can go over here. How's that looking? Just need to break up that little bit of navy just there. Okay, now I don't like this one here. It's quite harsh. I'll go over it with a bigger one because there's lots of little thin strips there. I think I'll put a bit of white on it too. Oh, dripped. Okay, let's just cover up some of this here. Okay, that's better. There's lots of little thin ones just there. I think it just needed something. Yep, love that. Happy with that. Happy with that. So this is the type of technique that lends itself to fiddling a little bit, but just be careful, don't overdo it. Now I want some big areas of colour, I want some little wispy areas of colour. I'm happy with those blocks of the rose gold. I think I need a little bit of navy just through there. It's just a little bit too blocky because I've got 1, 2, 3 big blocks there. It just needs to be broken up, that one. See what I mean? By just breaking it up a little bit, and then they'll just stop there. Okay. I think that just needs a little bit of light just there. And then I am just about done. I'm going to give it a quick torch. That's pretty, isn't it? So I've got some weird little effects happening, and I think once I torch they may come up. Oh, what's that? Did I drip? Did I? Not sure. Must have. That's got it. All right, now this half seems to be heavier than that half, doesn't it? I'll just just make a little bit of navy just for here, just to balance it a little bit. Because that half, as I said, is much heavier than this half. She can have a little bit more navy, I think. And I'll do a bigger swipe down there. With a little bit of the blue as well, pale blue. And I think I'll use the bigger one just to balance, come down a little bit further to balance that down there. Yes, perfect. That's got it. Yes. So that's down to there. That's pretty much down to there. And this just needed a little bit of balance. All right, now I'm going to torch it. And I think that will be it, you guys. I'll try not to fiddle anymore. Give it a little torch. Over here we're getting some little effects happening, a little bit of lacing. I think we will get a little bit more over time. Actually, I've just noticed that bothers me. I need to straighten that. A little bit of white on that. And just see if I can take that through there, just because that's a bit of a bend there and I don't like that. Okay, that didn't do anything. I missed. Let's try again. Go with one of the bigger ones. I don't know about that. I liked it better the way it was. Let's see if I can get that paint to go off. This is what happens when you fiddle. You can make it worse. I might turn it the way I'm doing it towards myself. Let go. And I can see what I'm doing. Oh, no. Now I'm ruining it, you guys. All right, let's put some more paint here. Just going to flood that with paint. Hopefully I can save this. See what happens when you fiddle? You gotta learn to stop fiddling. I'm getting there, it's getting better. It's not as light and wispy as I would have hoped for. I've put too much paint on. Should have just, left it. Probably scrape it and do it again, actually. Oh dear. backing away in a minute. Just getting that little bit off. Like so. Okay. Alrighty. Sorry, a little bit heavier handed than what I was hoping for. Now it's a little bit too heavy down here because, you know, I tried to fix that. But hey, it's still, I think it's still really pretty. I'm probably the only one that can notice that, you know, that I've brought it too far down. But as I said, I do like it to balance. So I've come down there a few places, come down here a few places. I could probably bring this one down a little bit more. Oh, I'm getting hot in the studio today. Okay, now that just balances that a little bit more. Okay, I am done. What do you think? Do you like that? I think that must have been a bit of a long video. Sorry about that. But yeah, as I said, I just wanted to test the colours. I like the colour. I think my turquoise got lost a little bit, and I don't like how blocky those are. I think they probably need to be broken up just a tad. Seems the longer that sits, it's kind of spreading, that rose gold. It seems to be spreading and making a bigger, like a rounded area there. Just try and break that up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, the rose gold, it must be spreading because it wasn't that big. Okay. Fixed it. Now I haven't got so many big blocky bits there. Oh, looks pretty from up here. All right. Let me take you down for a close-up. Oh, 32 minutes. It is a bit long, isn't it? That's because I fiddled. Okay. Let's go up this side first. You can see how the edges have sort of wisped away, ghosted, and the metallic is doing its thing. See, it's making little kind of cells and things like that. The decor art does that. So if you don't want that, don't use the deco art. But I just thought it might be nice just to have something happening in there. My other one, when I did on the navy background, I used the gold deco art, and that's made a few little cells and things as well. It just adds a little bit of interest. Like, there's no right or wrong. If you don't like it, don't do it. Oh, I'm having trouble focusing. Go away, fly. There's a fly flying around my painting. Okay, so that's it there. And then over there is my, that was the one with the gold that I did before, and over there on that other table I was telling you about, that's my big one that's sitting there drying underneath that PVC and netting. So there we go. What do you think of those colours? Do you think that'll look nice on a big one? Any suggestions? A different colour maybe? Yeah, let me know what you think. But yeah, definitely do this. I don't know if I want to use the same deco art. I don't know if I like those little cells, weird effects. Not sure. Let me know what you think. Anyway, whether I should use the deco art and get cells, or whether I should just have a plain metallic and not worry about the cells. So, okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.